Nityanam, everybody. We welcome each and every one of you on this auspicious day of celebrating the 48th birthday of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nityananda Paramashivam. On this auspicious day, every one of us are celebrating the happening of the Avatar, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, who is the embodiment of Paramashiva himself on this planet Earth. And today, we'd like to share with each and every one of you about the grand celebrations and the revival of Kailasa, the establishment of the sovereign nation of Kailasa for the entire world. I'd now like to share with each and every one of you about Kailasa. The United States of Kailasa is the first nation for Hindus, and Kailasa has been established to preserve and protect the Sanatana Hindu civilizational nation. Kailasa, unlike any other modern nation, is actually similar to Vatican. Just like how Vatican exists for the Roman Catholics around the world, similarly, Kailasa exists for the 2 billion Hindus around the world. Kailasa serves as the central administering body for the 2 billion born and practicing Hindus around the world. In this regard, Kailasa has established various levels of diplomatic relations with various countries. Here, we are looking at one of the recognitions that Kailasa has received from the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, recognizing Kailasa's juridical statehood and also recognizing the contributions of Kailasa to the entire world. And Kailasa has also established various levels of bilateral and diplomatic engagements. Here, we're looking at one of the engagements with the State of African Diaspora, which is the 6th region of the African Union. In terms of territory and boundary, Kailasa has its own sovereign territory. In fact, Kailasa has multiple sovereign territories around the world. And we are pleased to announce, as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism revealed, Kailasa's one of the sovereign locations in the Andean region, where Kailasa has a functioning government. We have our own courts, the Hindu courts. We have the Hindu banks. We have the indigenous reserve banks that are there as well, and the gurukuls and universities. There are multiple indigenous nations in the Andean region who have gifted and who have given sovereign territory to Kailasa, and this has also been ratified and recognized by their national governments as well. Kailasa also has established the United Ancient Nations, which is an intergovernmental body of Kailasa that is specifically created and established to protect the rights of the indigenous and the ancient nations that exist, to promote the rights and the sovereignty that is vested in every one of them. Kailasa has a fully functional government, and the foundational principles based on which Kailasa is established is Ahimsa and Advaita, which is non-violence and coexistence. In this regard, Kailasa has established a perfect structure with its own Hindu parliament and the entire cabinet as well. And the fundamental and the core values which govern Kailasa are basically preserving our ancient tradition, promoting religious freedom, fostering cultural heritage. And in this phase where there is so much of violence that is going on, Hindus have faced enormous amount of persecution. Over the last many centuries, the Hindus have been facing persecution. Kailasa and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism have also been subjected to tremendous persecution through this entire period. For the very first time, the persecution on Hindus was brought down to the United Nations by Kailasa. Till date, the United Nations has published over 22 reports recognizing Kailasa's juridical statehood and the persecution that Kailasa has been through. And given that the diaspora of Hindus are 2 billion strong, Kailasa has its branches, has its de facto embassies in over 150 countries around the world. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the reviver of Kailasa, and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has tirelessly worked and established Kailasa as a sovereign nation. Taking a step back into the historical background of Kailasa, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been coronated as the king of 21 ancient kingdoms. Here we are looking at the kingdom of Madurai, of which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the 293rd pontiff. We have the kingdom of Surangi, of which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been coronated as the 203rd emperor. we have the kingdom of Swargapuram and 18 such kingdoms. Kailasa is the continuity of all of these ancient kingdoms that are coming together. At one point in time, there were over 56 Hindu nations with over 200 kingdoms and 10,000 provinces. But due to the relentless attack and persecution, Kailasa lost all of it. And the entire Hindus lost all the sovereign territory that they held. Over 400 million Hindus were massacred, over 95 million Hindus were tortured, and 3.7 million Hindus who were forced to convert to other religions. Because of this, back in 2003 itself, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism took the entire kingdom to the North America and established Kailasa government in exile. As per the very Convention on Diplomatic and Consular Relations of the United Nations, Kailasa receives customary recognition as per their very constitution, article number 47.1. Even as per the doctrine of continuity, Kailasa receives all the rights to remain and to function as a sovereign government. Till date, Kailasa has over 16,000 de facto embassies across 150 countries around the world, and over 50 cities around the world have declared this day, January 3rd, as SPH Nityananda Day in recognition to the contributions of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to the entire world. Kailasa is not in conflict with any nation. Kailasa is a complement to every nation. We actively represent at various international events, engagements, actively advocating for the rights of Kailasa and Hinduism. When we look at the global stage, sovereignty is a commodity. Classic examples are, for example, the US, where the 25 states of US were actually purchased by the United States as sovereign territory from other countries. Similarly, Kailasa has purchased sovereign territories and also has been gifted sovereign territories by multiple countries around the world. Kailasa also has its own reserve bank, which is very similar to the Vatican Bank. Kailasa also provides e-citizenship. It is a unique initiative by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism through which we can cater to the 2 billion Hindu diaspora around the world. It is through the e-citizenship that the Hindus around the world can access all the various services of Kailasa. We also have over 108 humanitarian initiatives, of which the top ones are offering free food, free education, and free healthcare. We have served over 1.5 billion free meals till date, and we continue to do so every single day.
In Kailasa, we are reviving every dimension of ancient, enlightened, Sanatana Hindu Dharma civilization by the grace of Paramashiva, absolutely non-violent way, with a pure ahimsa, just through the diplomatic cooperation, through the treaty, few countries have given a small sovereign islands for us to live and revive Sanatana Hindu Dharma. With that, first Kailasa was manifested successfully. Paramashiva manifested Kailasa. Then few other countries gave small territories, like sometimes it is just less than 100 hectare, or I can say that around less than 200 acres. But with Paramashiva's grace, Paramashiva himself blessed and manifested various communities, Sangha of Kailasa. Like in one place, the male monastic Sannyasa Sampradaya was established. In one place, the female monastic Nun Sampradaya is established. One place, for the Grihastha Sampradaya was established. Listen, fortunately with Paramashiva's grace, few countries are given not sovereign but autonomous. Kind of we have a freedom to administer, live, run, self-govern in that particular area. Our philosophy, principles and our structure, kind of an autonomous status. In some countries we got just few property, extra territorial status. With Paramashiva's grace, we stitched all of this and evolved as United States of Kailasa. First, Paramashiva manifested Kailasa, then United States of Kailasa. With Paramashiva's grace, as we are a non-violent civilization and Kailasa is a service-based organization. We only contribute. Kailasa is service-based organizational nation. We only serve people. We don't grab others' wealth. We don't attack anyone. We don't even convert people. Neither the attitude of militant missionaries nor the attitude of militant missionaries nor the attitude of missionary militant. We are absolutely non-violent. We are absolutely non-violent, ahimsa-centered, service-based organizational nation. So, few more indigenous nations welcomed us, gave us autonomous territory within their nation, which is allowed as per the constitution of their country. Through that diplomatic relation, bilateral treaty, with Paramashiva's grace, we have also started expanding. Now, all the 7 different units, like male monastery, itself has multiple territories. The female monastery has multiple territories. The Grihastha order has more than one territory. And the university has more than, I should say that university only has lots of campuses, as it is education everywhere. They are welcoming universities, campuses. Our service activities have spread all over the world. And integrating all this as per the Montevideo Convention, all the requirements of a nation is fulfilled. A permanent territory, a permanent population living in the territory, and permanent government structure and ability to enter into the treaty with other countries. Because all these 4 are fulfilled, many countries have started recognizing us as a nation, signed diplomatic relations. With Paramashiva's grace, the expansion is happening all over the world. And the next, it evolved to a Kailasa IGO. Understand? First we started, Paramashiva manifested Kailasa in one small sovereign territory. Then it multiplied, it evolved into United States of Kailasa. Then we took it to the next level, Kailasa IGO, Kailasa's Alliance of International Legal Bodies and Sovereign Authorities. I will show you. Kailasa IGO, Kailasa's Alliance of International Legal Bodies and Sovereign Authorities. I'll present this to all of you. With Paramashiva's grace, now Kailasa IGO has manifested formally. By presenting this to all of you, we are opening it to public. You can all become part. Kailasa's Alliance of International Legal Bodies and Sovereign Authorities, Kailasa IGO. So you can all see now the emblem. Kailasa IGO is formally inaugurated and introduced to public. It is formed long ago. Now I am revealing it to all of you. Kailasa's Alliance of International Legal Bodies and Sovereign Authorities, K.A.I.L.A.S.A. It's IGO. Next, with Paramashiva's grace, we have evolved UAN, United Nations for Ancient Nations. Understand? With Paramashiva's grace, Paramashiva successfully manifested, and now he is introducing this to all of you, to the world formally, United Ancient Nations. It is United Nations for Ancient Nations, Indigenous Nations. This is a profound intergovernmental body. More than 100 ancient nations are already part members of this UAN. It is to unite and support all the indigenous nations, indigenous kingdoms all over the world for protecting the rights of the aboriginal communities, promoting peaceful coexistence and mutual understanding, reviving ancient sacred sciences and knowledge systems, advocating for the sovereignty and rights of the indigenous peoples worldwide. Already more than 100 indigenous nations and indigenous kingdoms have become member in this United Ancient Nations. We have also created World Health Organization for Indigenous Nations, IMF, International Monetary Fund for the Indigenous Nations, World Bank for Indigenous Nations. All those structures have been evolved and now successfully they are all functional. I am talking only about what is already done. I welcome all of you to be part of this great, ancient, enlightened, Sanatana, Hindu Dharma, civilizational nations revival. Successfully, Paramashiva revived it in various levels. Now it is available for the whole world. So we can go on be serving. We have also revived and established Kailasa Paramparagata. The Kailasa sovereign order of monks, nuns, grihasthas, vanaprasthis, the whole Kailasa sovereign orders are revived on this planet Earth for all of you to manifest enlightenment as a lifestyle, Paramadvaita as a lifestyle, Paramashiva successfully manifested, made this Kailasa available for all of you. We are here welcoming every one of you to become part of this great revival of the ancient, enlightened, Sanatana Hindu Dharma civilizational nation. So, with this, I thank all of you for being here, especially the important personalities, Om awardees who have gathered from all over the world to celebrate Nityananda Day. Due to the time constraint, I am not able to read out all your names because it's a long list. Just few important VIPs. His Excellency Agustin Senan Marian, President of the Shuar Epapas Community, Republic of Ecuador, President of the Shuar Epapas Nation. Thank you for being here, representing your nation. And there are so many presidents of the indigenous nations are here. Let's grow together, celebrate life, support each other, and make this planet Earth a better place for us to live. Thank you all for being here and doing what you are doing, being who you are. And with this, I bless you all. Let's all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching, causing, living Shuddhatvaita Saivam Paramatvaitam. The state, space, powers, being, superconsciousness, and Kailasa, Maha Kailasa of Paramashiva, Paramashivoham, Om Nityananda Paramashivoham, the eternal bliss, Nityananda. Thank you. Be blissful. I bless you all. Let's all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching, causing, living Shuddhatvaita Saivam Paramatvaitam. The state, space, powers, being, superconsciousness, and Kailasa, Maha Kailasa of Paramashiva, Paramashivoham, Om Nityananda Paramashivoham, the eternal bliss, Nityananda. Thank you. Be blissful.